So, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, anime that came out in 2020, and okay, honestly, the whole anime can be reviewed with just one sketch. Trigger. So, yeah, as you might have expected, Trigger teamed up with Netflix and CD Projekt Red in order to create their new masterpiece. Well, that is at least according to all the online reviews, and Crunchyroll, which gave Cyberpunk Edgerunners the title of Anime of the Year, beating Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. I mean, okay, not to shit on anime before I even got into it, but really, better than Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. I mean, okay, let's see if this anime is actually as good as people are saying it is. And, yep, this is Cyberpunk Edgerunners. So the anime starts with some really buff guy who is also really crazy, and he just starts killing everybody around him.
What the hell you doing? Back it up! Looking to get shot?
And that's when the muffin made the car explode, but it didn't really matter.
And apparently, at the same time, this guy also can stop time or something. I'm assuming because everybody who's that buff can eventually stop time. And not gonna lie, such a great beginning for the anime was quite impressive. Everything is really bloody, everything is really action-packed, and when I saw such a cool beginning, I was really hyped up, not gonna lie. And I'm 100% sure this guy's insane because he's shooting police officer in a helmet instead of very obvious non-protected part of his face.
Why? Is he blind?
And then the story cuts to our main character, David, who is, well, remember that guy from Ready Player One?
Sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere, protecting my small slice of nothing.
Like, yeah, literally, that's how cliche he is. Just, like, listen to his character description. He only has a mom who has to work a dead-end job to provide for his education. He's a loser outcast at his school where everybody thinks he's trash. And, well, of course, he's really poor, cannot afford anything, literally has to live in a small apartment, and only dream about life of adventures and, well, Trigger. Okay, I have seen many stories where main character starts as a really generic character. Subaru from ReZero is a great example of that. I'm not saying that if you start basic, you will end basic.
You hold the purse strings, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Basically, anime jumps right into conflict between him and his mother, because David has bad grades in school. Okay, how many stereotypes can you fit in this character? And honestly, even though mom as a character does seem lovely, this part of the story seems kinda stretchedly sad, because really the only dialogue we get between David and his mom is his mom telling him,
"You're broke.
After which his mom just gets shot. Yes, that quickly.
I want to give you a fighting chance in this city and a good education.
This motherfucker's got way too many guns, and from what I can tell, no shortage of ammo."
Okay, wait, where's the story take place? Oh, Night City, California. Okay, that makes sense. And to my surprise, his mom somehow survives the car crash. Well, okay, I know how David survived the car crash. He's the main character after all, but his mom is not, so...
Is she a communist?
But to be fair, she did land in a hospital. However, remember how I said that David is broke? And remember how I said that the story takes place in the USA? And do you even know how expensive healthcare in USA is? So yeah, sorry David, you're not seeing your mom again. So David, left alone, of course, looks through his mom's stuff in order to pay the bills, because instead of, well, I don't know, find a job, he finds some illegal implant. That implant, of course, used to belong to that buff guy from the beginning of the story. And okay, you would think that this implant's purpose is to make you more buff, because, well, when David puts it on, he becomes more and more buff every episode, but no. Turns out, this implant is in charge of making you super fast, like Flash, and also for some reason copied this scene from JoJo. Anyway, main character tries to sell this thing, because, well, he's broke, remember?
It definitely ain't legal, but whatever. Whoa, what the hell are these specs?
But, surprisingly, nobody wants to buy an illegal implant that can make you super powerful main character, and because of that, David decides to install it to himself. Well, okay, not exactly because of that, but because he got punched in the face by a bully.
What the fuck is he doing?
I'm beginning to think you're punching people.
But what happens later is not so hilarious, because his mom dies. What a dramatic twist in the story! Oh my god, who could have predicted that? Okay, the issue is, I'm okay with the cliche that the main character becomes super OP at the beginning of the story, because, well, that's exactly what happens to David as soon as he installed the Wardo implant. My problem here is, instead of obvious things like looking for a murderer of his mother, he just goes and beats up a school bully, and after which he just gets kicked out of the school. The same school that his mom worked so hard for. Okay, this is a great way to honor your dead mother, who was working her ass off in order to give you education.
You ungrateful little brat!
When I watched it for the first time, I expected this to be a setup for future character development. Like, in the future, David is gonna realize that he took it a bit too far. But no! David is acting like he did the right thing, and even funnier, they don't portray it as David learning the lesson or David just overreacting. No, in the eyes of viewers, he's literally supposed to be a hero. I mean, like, really, really better than Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan, they said. Okay, anyway, we also get thrown in that this school/big evil corporation, apparently, is interested in David because they recognize the Wardo implant that he got. Okay, I guess this needs some lore explaining, because you see, in Cyberpunk world, there's such a thing as cyberpsychosis. In the video game lore, it is explained that some person might just go crazy if he puts too much machine into him, so he basically stops being human and goes crazy. In the anime, it's not exactly explained, we're mostly just told that the Wardo implant is just too cool and too strong, and anybody who puts it on eventually can go crazy. And, well, spoiler alert, that's exactly what happens. But who cares about all that nonsense, because we're finally getting a love arc.
Finally?
Yes.
So what's your angle? Spill it.
What, my angle?
What do you want? You're mussing up my work.
Main character accidentally stumbles upon a woman who is, surprise surprise, his love at first sight, best girl of the series, and etc. And when I saw this character for the first time, I legit thought there was gonna be some tragic backstory about her selling her body or something like this. Well, because she's basically wearing practically underwear, and it's not like it's a fashion trend in the cyberpunk world. Like, yeah, there's some people who dress really, really openly per se, like Rebecca later in the show, but in case of Rebecca, it fits her personality. She's literally acting like a horny teenager the whole show, and in case of Lucy, that's just, well, okay, I guess it's fan service. So, oh yeah, wait, sorry, I forgot what studio made this anime. Trigger. And because this is Trigger, of course the main character's love interest is crazy. Well, okay, I'm not even surprised, really. This is the same studio that created the masterpiece, which is Darling in the Franxx. Well, okay, after Lucy realized David can stop time, she proposes a deal.
Wallace, I love you. Let's have sex forever until we die having sex.
And, well, you know where this is all going.
I think you and I'd make a pretty good team.
And like many other characters, Lucy dreams of escaping this dirty, rotten city. By the way, let's talk about city itself, because not gonna lie, Trigger did an amazing job making city look as promising as it can possibly be in the animation. Although in this part, I gotta say that despite them actually spending countless hours animating this, they didn't really have to invent a wheel because, well, this is a game adaptation, I remind you, and the concept of Night City with all the details and particles was already created in a video game. However, I gotta give the credit where the credit is due, they did an amazing job adapting it to the series. Oh yeah, by the way, we get some info thrown about the Wardo implant, which, if you use it too much, you gonna pass out.
Try not to pass out from excitement.
However, then series actually presents us a decent plot twist, because turns out Lucy is not actually in love with David, she was tricking him to, well, sell him for body parts.
That implant you chipped is all mine. How's she thinking handing it over to you?
She didn't, she died.
Well, okay, not exactly. Turns out that the gang that Lucy works with has actually bought the Wardo implant from David's mom. However, for some reason, she did not deliver it, so...
And while I'm very sorry for your loss, you'd be well advised to make that the last time you attempt to play on my sympathies.
And again, like I said before, it did surprise me that the main character's love interest was just lying to him all this time. However, I'm not just calling Lucy main character's love interest for no reason, because after that scene, she becomes, well, typical character's girlfriend from like any shonen anime, really.
Do you know? Look at you, you're practically a pro.
So because David has Z-Wardo implant in him and he for some reason just cannot take it off, he technically owes this guy's like a lot of money. And as I remind you, this guy is broke and, well, getting a job is not an option, he has to work for them now. At the same time, we're introduced to a bunch of pretty much interesting characters, one of which is Maine, who is pretty much gonna be a father figure for David, and, well, not gonna lie, he's pretty good at it.
Okay, kid, you get one chance.
Alright, here we go again.
However, if we're being completely honest, secondary characters in this show are way better than the main characters of the show. I mean, Lucy and David are so stereotypical and so blank, and for some reason their dialogues the whole show is just some nonsense.
You don't understand. We can't just leave.
But I need you to do this. I'm sorry. I believe in you, Lucy.
Same time, school/evil corporation realizes that David's, for some reason, is immune to the Wardo implant's bad influence. Like, the previous owner of this device went crazy really quick, and David, for some reason, doesn't really do that. So they're trying as hard as possible to bring him back into the academy, to, like, study him or test him. But of course, David says no, because, well, education is for losers, gang life is for pros.
Gangbang!
And again, cyberpsychosis as a catalyst for the plot is very, very interesting. But it is also important how the story is gonna explore that, because, well, like I said, they don't exactly do that. The whole show, everybody keeps telling David how pro he is, how he's so special and for some reason cannot go crazy because of the Wardo implant. However, he still goes crazy, just a little bit slower than usual. All the villains literally just say that he can do that because, I don't know, because he's the main character, apparently.
I killed someone.
Anyway, after introducing a bunch of interesting and not secondary characters, we also get introduced to Rebecca.
I'm Rebecca. I hear you're joining up with Maine's crew. Cheers!
Aren't you a little young to be drinking beers?
Well, I don't really have to explain who this is, because this is basically like Nezuko and Demon Slayer. Anyway, later, series just gives us a bunch of small adventures where David sorta bonds with the secondary characters.
Don't be shy!
And also, apparently, those small crimes supposed to make him and Lucy closer, but Lucy for some reason just doesn't care about him. How is that possible? He's the main character. Come on, Lucy! Like, come on, get undressed. Oh, no, I didn't mean literally. But the relationship of our Romeo and Juliet sort of starts where they encounter another cyber psycho who is just kills one of the secondary characters.
Question. You ready to have your mind blown?
Yeah.
Desire!
Well, I guess he is funny, but his whole character description is that he is horny. All the time.
Someone died. It's still a tragedy.
Anyway, at the same time, Lucy almost gets shot, and then David realizes, oh yeah, wait, I can stop time, right? So he just kills that cyber psycho.
Hey, asshole!
David, no!
Yep, he did.
But Lucy still, for some reason, doesn't fall in love with the main character, because I remind you, this is very not typical anime. However, then they go to her apartment to heal or something. They share one single, very poorly written dialogue, actually, and kiss.
How am I any different from you?
I got nowhere else to go. This is it.
And we're exactly the same. That's a promise.
Oh, come on, why am I even surprised? This is the same studio that wrote Darling in the Franxx.
Ocean water was supposed to be salty.
This isn't an ocean.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But this puddle's the closest thing I could find to an ocean around these parts, so here we are.
Trigger. However, I do want to point out that their love life kinda starts out of nowhere. Seriously, like, maybe it's because story has only 10 episodes, but come on, let's look at the story so far. They met when Lucy was stealing chips. She realized that David had that Z-Wardo implant that belonged to Maine. She tricked him, lied to him, and got him to the gang. Then they started working together because David owes them a lot of money. She hated him the whole time, and for some reason, out of nowhere, after David kinda saved her life, she just falls in love with him. Like, okay, again, better than Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. Really? And okay, we're not even gonna talk about Attack on Titan's amazing plot. Even the Demon Slayer, with all its flaws, is still not as bad because Demon Slayer doesn't take themselves really seriously. And in this case, in case of Cyberpunk the anime, everything is supposed to be 100% important. It's dramatic storytelling. And this is what they're giving us. This is the main plot story. Like, are you kidding me? Also, is that just me, but Lucy kinda just becomes a whole different character after that point? Like, before that, she was sort of very funny, lighthearted, and, well, a little bit crazy woman. But after that, she's just depressed. Like, 24/7, she's just depressed, she's smoking, she looks very sad, and...
Breathe air! You don't need a vape!
Why did they even change that? She looked fine in the beginning a couple episodes ago. Why did they all of a sudden had to make her very sad and depressed? Okay, later the story introduces us to Faraday.
I was clear when I requested only the navigation data.
By the time he shows up, he right away establishes that he's very, very smart. He doesn't value mistakes, and our team did a few of them actually, because when they were asked to steal certain thing, instead they just stole a car, killing a bunch of people in the process. Well, why is the police on their ass yet? Basically, Faraday tells our gang that they need to capture Tanaka, who currently works in evil corporation that I've mentioned before, and who's been watching over David ever since he installed the Wardo implant. Okay, basically our main characters wanted to capture Tanaka by meeting with Pimp, who I guess also works with him. But surprisingly, that Pimp double crosses them, like, as soon as possible, and just kidnaps David.
That's kidnapping. With one more P it is, that's kidnaping. Well, however the fuck you spell it, you know what I'm talking about?
Which causes Lucy to just go crazy about everyone and just go on a rampage to find David. Bruh, don't you guys know each other for like a week? And well, 2 scenes passed, la-di-da, they just found David and captured Tanaka. Yes, that easily.
What a pain in the ass.
I remind you, the show only has 10 episodes, so we need to speed up a little. And because show did actually sped up, Maine, for some reason, just goes crazy. Like, almost out of nowhere, he just has cyberpsychosis. Like, he just randomly started being angry towards everybody and started having those, like, psychotic dreams, which don't make a lot of sense and don't even really explain anything. They just look really insane and don't even make a lot of sense, so, like, I don't even know why we look at them. However, Maine is not the only one who acts crazy. Lucy also just starts acting insane because she has dark path with this evil corporation.
Such a cliche.
Well, it's basically a backstory of 02 from Darling in the Franxx, and that's all about I can say about it. Like, the evil corporation raised her to be a weapon, surprise surprise. She was also red for a while, just like 02 in her childhood. Then she ran away seeking for love, and like, really, did you just reuse the backstory of a character from your old show? Like, come on, are you for real? And okay, it's not even just me who noticed that.
This is Darling in the Franxx. Remember she was red? She was a red demon?
That's true, she was red at first.
Okay, after that, a lot of shit happened. David was talking to Tanaka and he explained to him that he's a very special, like really, really special, because he somehow cannot go crazy while using the Wardo implant.
You have demonstrated unique potential. Arasaka sees in you a valuable asset.
Maine, meanwhile, goes completely crazy, kills a couple side characters, and also a bunch of random people as well. And okay, now I know why they give Maine cyberpsychosis. That was only really there to remove another parent figure from David's life, so his life looked even sadder, and so later on nobody prevented him from going crazy as well.
You can't do it. This is it.
Okay, any fights in the anime do look good. However, also, what's happening with the art style? Are you guys kidding me? Is Trigger really just unable to keep the same art style throughout the whole anime? Or like, what is this? And okay, despite for some reason just changed art style, this episode did look awesome. Like I already said, fights look awesome, interesting, creative. However, if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, this episode was such a waste, because they literally just threw away 2 important characters while not even completing their arcs. They're just dead. They did insert a couple interesting plot explanations about like the world building. That was interesting, but that was inserted so quickly and abruptly that I'm not even gonna mention it. And on top of that, after Main died, only leaving his hand, there goes a time skip. I'm not even joking. The next episode just skips forward for just like unknown amount of time, not even explaining it or announcing. I guess you just have to guess that actually happened because, well, the show doesn't bother to tell you. Alright, so the results of the time skip is David is now more buff, like I mentioned before.
I believe this is the first we've met, Mr. Martinez.
Like one of those James Bond films.
He's still working with Faraday, even though, well, this guy looks like the most obvious generic villain ever to exist. Oh yeah, meanwhile, Lucy kills all the assassins that were supposed to go after David.
Like in risk versus reward, baby.
And while doing that, Lucy figured out that the evil corporation has created a super endoskeleton that they're planning to test on David, because he's the only one who cannot go crazy while doing it. Well, yeah, sounds like a great plan, giving an ultimate weapon to a guy who's probably gonna hate you as soon as he realizes you tricked him and lied to him, and who at the same time can go crazy and kill you and everybody around him. And okay, if you're wondering how they're gonna trick David into putting on the endoskeleton, which he doesn't really want to do because he's showing signs of the cyberpsychosis. So the evil corporation captures Lucy because she was trying to foil their plans or something. At the same time, they're hiring Kiwi, or whatever her name is, this random secondary character girl, who is also lying to David and putting him and his crew in a pointless situation where he just has to put on the suit to protect his friends.
Besides, I won't have to lift a finger when Arasaka's done with it.
And well, of course, David just does just that. Why didn't the evil corporation just threaten Lucy's life and told David to just put on the suit? It's like, that sounds way simpler and less convoluted. Like, why did they even need to hire Kiwi and do all this false theft and put David in a serious situation where he's forced to put on the suit?
Epic battle being waged here tonight as the 5th and final round gets underway.
And then happens pretty much what you all expected. David puts on the suit and goes completely crazy. And okay, his crazy, mindless action does look awesome when he's just obliterating all the bad guys around him. And then goes a scene that I actually really like, because David goes completely crazy on his way to save Lucy, and Rebecca sees it. And then, okay, the anime actually managed to surprise me a lot, because they introduced to us Atom Smasher. Yeah, okay, no, he's not from the Addams family, he's actually from the Cyberpunk the game. And not gonna lie, that was a pretty good insert of the character, because he literally obliterates everyone and everything.
Lucy.
When David arrives to the scene to save Lucy and kills Faraday in the process, Atom Smasher is just like,
Atom Smasher, hurry! Go on, kill the boy!
Who the fuck are you?
Atom Smasher just starts destroying David in the fight, even though, well, David's using the endoskeleton that was made for Atom Smasher, so, like, how does this work exactly? And David gets tossed in the air and goes completely insane, like 100% insane. But then,
I'm right here, it's me, it's Lucy!
Well, Lucy just kisses him and he just goes back to normal, like, real, what the hell?
What the fuck is this?
Like, okay, I get it, the music in this scene is really wholesome. Actually, overall, in the whole anime, music goes really hard. But, like, seriously, the whole show, you've been telling us that David can withstand the craziness. He cannot go crazy somehow. And that there's gonna be a reason behind all this. And, like, well, do you know what the reason is?
I wonder what this reason was.
Well, yes, me too, because they really don't explain it. Like, literally, the whole show you've been telling us that David can somehow withstand that Zimordo implant. Like, somehow he's not going crazy after all this shit. And in the last episode, instead of just explaining how this all goes, like, just giving us a simple reason, like, I don't know, he had cool parents or something. Or he had a stand like in JoJo, or he, like, I don't know. Like, any kind of reason, but no, the anime just spits you in the face and just says, like, yeah, there's no reason, absolutely no reason, he just can do it because he's the main character, and on top of that, when David actually goes crazy, and cyberpsychosis is established as something you cannot recover from, like, this is a disease that is just permanent, he goes back from that just because a girl loves him. Oh my god, like, how lazy this is! So you're telling me, for every people who had cyberpsychosis in the history of Cyberpunk, nobody was loved by anyone. They were just like Maine was not loved or anything. Like, why did nobody just kiss Maine when he was crazy? Like, maybe that would have helped, apparently. Okay, anyway, David puts Lucy to safety, they drive away, while Adam Smasher just smashes Rebecca. Fine, Cyberpunk, I did not expect that. Good job, you actually managed to surprise me.
I think this deserves a round of applause.
And after that, the anime managed to surprise me even more, because David just dies. Yes, I'm not joking. He literally gives a speech to Adam Smasher, powers up, but, well, Adam Smasher doesn't care. He just literally rips him apart and shoots him in the face.
Whatever, Choom. Like I give a shit.
Oh, well.
Not gonna lie, this ending, after all the cliches we've seen in the anime, after everything, after all the lazy plot points, this was legitimately unexpected. And I don't even know if this was Trigger's decision, maybe CD Projekt Red pushed this ending to be in the anime, but either way. But anyway, I gotta applaud this show. That was actually incredible. And as the final moments of the show, we get to see how Lucy finally gets to the moon. She finally gets exactly what David promised her, and she sees happy face of David as, well, I don't know, hallucinations or maybe something like this. When I saw this scene for the first time, I expected this to be a twist, like David actually survived because she transferred his consciousness into a helmet or something like this, I don't know. But I guess this is just a cool scene to end the show with. Okay, in conclusion, let's talk about the show as a whole. Is the show necessarily bad?
Well, yes.
However, I guess I still did enjoy it because all the action scenes were cool, the music was pretty good, the animation was, mostly good, but still, the amount of stuff that is just not explained or wasted in this anime is just on top of the charts. Like, no way this is the anime of the year. How the hell people said this anime is better than Demon Slayer, Spy X Family, and especially Attack on Titan? Like, are you serious? And okay, I'm not even gonna talk about all the Darling in the Franxx similarities because, well, that's just pointless at this point. So, and well, I guess that is it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Leave a like, tell me in the comments how wrong I am, and bye!